4 high schools, 7 middle schools, 1 college, and a university, and much more. Now introducing your most comprehensive weekly local sports show in Madison County, the Richmond Register Sports Show. The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by MetroNet, superfast internet, simply a better connection. Total Comfort, heating and air conditioning. Let Total Comfort keep you cool or warm this winter. Call for service or for a free replacement quote. Wynn's Auto Detailing Service. And by kymedia.net, digital media solutions on your terms. Here's your host for all things local sports, the Richmond Register sports editor, Nathan Hutchison.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Richmond Register Sports Show. My name is Nathan Hutchinson. I'm the sports editor of the Richmond Register. Appreciate you tuning us in tonight. Coming up in just a few minutes, we'll be joined by Madison Southern senior basketball player Reece Estep. She's going to take us through her incredible journey through, unfortunate journey through 3 major knee surgeries, and she's back kind of helping coach the team right now because she can't play, but she is going to be signing here in a few weeks with Campbellsville University. So she came in here earlier this afternoon. We were very happy to have her. So stay tuned for that. You want to hear her story because it's very compelling. So, but before we do that, we like to start off this show the way we start off every show, with a recap of the week that was in Madison County sports. And got a ton of high school basketball and college basketball to get to. But first, let's start off with Friday night over at Model Lab School. They inducted the 3 newest members into their Athletics Hall of Fame. Heather Long Chadwick, who was a tennis player in the 90s, won region championships and advanced to the state tournament. Larry Roy, a basketball and baseball player, most notably played on that 1980 model basketball team that was the last model team to beat Madison Central. And a name that's very familiar, this guy who's been on this show, John Stratman, who is currently the swim coach at Madison Central. But he had a great swimming career at Model, and also went on to University of Georgia and was an All-American there as well. So put together a little video compilation of the evening. So here's a look back on Friday night and the 3 newest members of the Model Lab Athletics Hall of Fame.
Growing up as a swimmer at Arlington and then also at Model, I went to school here from preschool through 12th grade, where my dad taught on campus in construction technology, and it just seemed like a perfect school. I mean, we had small class sizes, and the school was awesome. I went here all the way until I graduated. Swam for the legendary coach Tim Cahill, the best coach ever, in my opinion, and I think many would say the same thing. Taught you a lot of life lessons and hard work, determination. Helps out a lot. I was a sprint freestyle swimmer, swam 50 free and 100 free, and then some relays, and then 100 backstroke as well. And then Coach Cahill asked me to be a 50 and 100 primarily towards my end of my career, and it all worked out.
What do you think you learned from your time here at Model that's kind of helped you now that you're coaching as well?
Just do the right thing, be disciplined in everything that you do, make good choices, be responsible, and hard work always pays off.
I started school here in nursery school, so I went to Model for 14 years, and I played all sports. I lived close by, played in the neighborhoods, and then carried on with my friends here at Model. Started playing golf in middle school. I played basketball and baseball in middle school as well. Also played golf when I was in 8th grade, and then I had to make a decision on whether I was going to play golf or baseball. So I decided on baseball because I figured I could play golf the rest of my life. So Kevin Brown and I were playing on a middle school team in 8th grade, and Coach Kearns was the baseball coach, and they needed some players. So he called us up when we were about halfway through the 8th grade year to the varsity. And so I ended up playing, I guess, 4.5 years of baseball, and then played basketball in middle school, JV team as freshman, and then started on the varsity for my last 3 years. Graduated in 1980, and I'm being inducted for mainly basketball, I think. One of our bigger accomplishments, and I think it's the last time we ever accomplished this at Model, is in 1980, we drew Madison Central in the 44th District Tournament up at Alumni Coliseum. We had a tremendous team in 1980, my senior year, and we were able to defeat Madison Central 82-77 in 1980. And it's a really small school. They were a major power in a big school in the 11th region, 44th district. And I think, to my recollection, I've been told that's the last time small Model was able to accomplish that. So we're real proud of that, sort of our claim to fame.
A bunch of other guys' faces lit up when Coach Kearns walked in. Let's talk about how much it means for him to be here tonight.
I'm so glad you asked, because Coach Kearns is, if you ask me who had the greatest influence, in my life, he is definitely, at the top of the list, along with my father, as far as men. He's like a father figure, but most importantly, it's just the example that he set. He came to school here when this building was established back in 1962, and he coached till 1989. And just the example that he had on just living his life. I went to church with Coach Kearns. I saw how he carried himself. He was a basketball coach and baseball coach, and I spent a lot of time with him, and I sometimes probably got out of line, and the team didn't do well sometimes, but I never heard him say a curse word. He was always respectful, kind, and since that time, we've maintained our relationship. As a matter of fact, back 12 or 15 years ago, we knew that the gym was the Shirley Kearns Gymnasium, but there wasn't a plaque on the wall. So about 60 basketball players who had obviously loved Coach Kearns got together, and we had a nice dinner in his honor and established a plaque that you now see on the inside of the gymnasium. We put that there. And that's just for respect that all his players have for him as a coach, a great coach, but also more importantly just as a man who really...
I was a fortunate student at Model. I started in pre-K at 4 years old and went all the way to 1993, senior year I graduated, and I started playing tennis for Model, a varsity tennis player in 5th grade. And I played every single year and played for Coach Don Greenwell, and was very successful, and won some regional titles and went to state every year. I started playing tennis at Arlington, and then also the Greg Adams Tennis Center. But yes, so I graduated in 1993. I was a recruited athlete for tennis and swimming, but I wanted to play tennis, and I played for 2 years at West Point. We were in the Patriot League Division I. I won the Patriot League 2 years in a row, and then I decided the Army wasn't for me. And if you go to the first day of your junior year classes, you're committed to West Point and to the Army. And so I thought, well, I'm going to try something else, and I transferred back to Eastern Kentucky University and graduated in 1998 from Eastern. But I played for Coach Higgins, legendary Coach Higgins, and I was back playing in the Greg Adams Tennis Center and at Martin Hall tennis courts. I can't say enough great things about it. It's such a unique place. Every student gets such a great education. It's tailored to them. It is, the teachers are great, the faculty is great, the staff is great, and just the opportunities that you get at Model, the enrichment, I feel was just incredible for me. And even when I went to West Point, I felt like I was beyond what some students had received in their high schools. I had already experienced and been exposed to so many things, and I think that's what Model does for students.
I always appreciate Model AD Scotty Sutton inviting us out to that event and being there to document it. It's always a lot of fun. And you should have seen these cupcakes they had. I should have brought you one, Randy. They looked like they were like flowers, and they looked like pieces of art, but very, very good. But no, I was just kidding. But I mean, it's a great event every year. And I got here in 2003, so people before that time I really don't know. So it's always interesting to meet those folks and hear their stories as well. So once again, thanks to Model for making us a part of that again this year. All right, moving on to high school basketball, especially on the boys' side. We had it was a good week for both Madison Southern and Madison Central. We'll start off with the Eagles. 3 games, 3 wins, and 274 points. Madison Southern on Tuesday, 99-84 win at East Jessamine. On Friday, a 76-48 win at Model. And then on Saturday, in an event over in Danville, 99-34 win over Thomas More. Yes, you heard that right, folks. 274 points in 3 games. Scored 99 points twice. They have not scored 100 points since the 2011 season, but they've come close both times. Actually, in the game against East Jessamine, they had 2 free throws with less than a minute left, which would have put them over the century mark, but weren't able to do that. But maybe they'll come up with that here at some point. But still, an amazing run for those guys. In the win over East Jessamine, it was the big guy, Brett Ursland, 25 points on 10 of 10 shooting, 9 rebounds. Braden Hudson with 20 points. 57.4% field goal shooting, 11 of 21 from three-point range. In the 44th District matchup with Model on Friday night here in Richmond, Madison Southern had 50 points at the half. They started off with a 10-0 lead right off the bat and rolled to a victory. Zach Hudson, 23 points. Jay Rose, 15 points. And after that game, we had a chance to talk to Coach Bill Bevins and Brett Ursland.
We're here at Model Lab School, where Madison Southern's Eagles have picked up a district win over the Patriots. This is the very tall Coach Bill Bevins.
Yeah.
And Mountain.
Little man.
And Brett Ursland. You can get down now. There you go. Well, it's always tough coming into this building and picking up a win against a district opponent. But you guys have been playing so well, Coach, and came out tonight and played really well again.
Yeah, no, I was proud of our guys' effort for sure. I felt like we were pretty locked in from the start tonight. And we came out and executed the game plan and did some things that we've been working on well, and it showed on the scoreboard. So
yeah. Well, Brett, you missed a shot. You didn't miss a shot the other night against East Jessamine. You were 10 of 10, but you didn't miss a shot tonight. What's the matter, man?
I don't know. Missed a few, but it'll be all right.
Coach, though, he's been playing so well, and just a force in there. And I know, some people might look at him and go, "Oh, he's just some big old guy," but he's got some talent and got some offensive ability.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's got great big hands, and he catches the ball well, and he moves well, finishes well. We worked for a long time yesterday, one-on-one, just me and him. So no, that was fun, beating and banging, and it's good for him. He's improving, he's working hard. And when you put in the work, good things happen. So I'm proud of him.
Did you teach him that behind the back pass in the first half?
No, I did not teach him that. I think he's got that one on his own.
That was a thing of beauty, man.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
You just felt that one and you said, "What the heck? Go for it."
I guess.
But yeah, seriously though, since you guys come back from Florida, you hang up 99 on East Jessamine the other night, and you guys had 50 at the half here. It's like offense just clicking really well.
Yeah, no, I think our guys, we're talented. We can go, we can make plays. I like it when we can get out in transition and go, and I don't have to call a play. And they like playing that way, and they'll see him inside, and they know, if I see his numbers, I'm throwing him the ball. We've talked about it. So he catches it inside. He demands attention. If it's one-on-one, we trust him to go score. If you come and double, we've got guys that can make plays, and he's proven he can pass out of the post. So. That for sure gives us an added dimension on offense that we love.
Yeah, you got to play tomorrow afternoon, so good to get the whole fourth quarter off for all the starters, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, good luck to you tomorrow. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, appreciate Coach and Brett having a little fun with us there after the big victory over Model. And then on Saturday, another big victory for the Eagles. And the starters really didn't even play much in the second half of this game. But Jay Rose, 27 points, 5 guys in double figures. And Southern shot an astonishing 75% from the field, 42 of 56. As they roll to another big win. Southern now 11-5 on the season. They have won 8 of their last 9 games, and they're back in action Tuesday at home against Estep County. Of course, Madison Central boys basketball started off the week with some unexpected news when we found out that senior point guard Hagan Harrison had decided to leave the team and really to give up playing basketball in general. That obviously left the Indians in a bit of a pinch. They had to reconfigure their lineup and do some different things, and they were already kind of thin anyway, only playing about 6 or 7 guys, and so that forced the Indians to rework some things, and included moving Jalen Davis back to the point guard position. But they played 3 games last week and picked up 3 wins: 74-43 on Tuesday over Dunbar at home, 70-54 on Thursday at home against Montgomery County, and then went up to Lexington Friday night and picked up a 55-53 win over Henry Clay. And it was Jalen Davis. He really he played point guard a couple of years ago when he was a freshman, but he 79 points and 21 rebounds in the 3 games. And in the game against Paul Lawrence Dunbar, he had 27 points, and Robbie Todd had 16 points in that game. In the victory over Montgomery County, Jalen had 30 points, and Robbie had 12. And in the win over Henry Clay, it was Jalen who hit 2 free throws with 4 seconds left. That turned out to be the difference in the game. The senior finished with 22 points, and Robbie Todd finished with 16 points as well. We talked to both Jalen and Robbie after the win over Montgomery County, and here's a little bit of that interview.
We're back here at Madison Central High School, where the Indians have picked up a 70-54 win over Montgomery County. Jalen Davis, Robbie Todd, congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Well, it's been a couple of games now. You guys had to readjust your lineup without your point guard, obviously. Just talk about the changes you guys have had to make offensively and defensively, and this is kind of the same system you guys played last year.
Offensively, we had to find a couple people on the JV team, help us come up and to provide on the offensive end, not just be confident with themselves and just help us score.
Yeah, I think Hagan carried a lot of confidence, and I think we need to develop our younger guys to have someone step up, and he took a lot of shots, so that'll be more shots for the rest of us. So we can just move the ball well and get everyone involved.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, you guys, this group of 4 of you plus Will was pretty much the entire starting 5 last year. Yeah. So you guys have done this before. You guys are comfortable playing pretty much the whole game.
Yeah. Even though Will is also a big part, he averaged 20 points. So I feel like if Parker, Eli, Keith, they just all pitch in at least a good amount of points. And defensively, they bring a lot of energy and effort, which helps us a lot. Taking charges and getting over the rebounds.
Yeah, I'm with him. Like, if they can just come and do the work, do the dirty work, and just give us a few points off the bench, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, you guys like being out there the whole time, don't you?
I love it.
I ain't got a problem with it.
I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, and 30 points for you tonight, Jalen. I mean, you're kind of bringing the ball up a little bit. I mean, I guess you're not really the point guard now. Everybody's kind of sharing the duties. But
yeah, I mean, honestly, me being a point guard, I was kind of used to it because my freshman year I had to bring it up when Cole, Braden, and Luke was here. So I kind of been ready for it ever since freshman year. So, I mean, I'm kind of used to it.
Yeah. Everybody thinks he's just a shooter, but he can handle the rock, right?
Yeah.
And you guys, you just do what you do, man. You're like a double-double every night. You're just tough as nails down in there.
Yeah, my dad puts a lot of emphasis on that. He wants me to get a double-double every night. He wants me to make sure I get a lot of rebounds. So he says that leads to winning more than anything, really.
Yeah, well, this new look lineup is 2-0 heading to Henry Clay tomorrow night. So
yeah, we get another W. Yes, sir.
All right. Congratulations, guys. Well, 3 straight wins for the Indians moves them to 8-6 on the season. They're back in action Tuesday on the road against Ashland Blazers. Berea Community Boys had 3 games this past week. 60-52 loss on Monday at Casey County. Thursday night they bounced back with a 60-41 win at home over the Wellspring Guardians. And then Friday they were on the road again and suffered a 60-57 loss at Buckhorn. And the win over the Wellspring Guardians was Liam Brewer, 17 points, Jack Hemingway with 16 points, and
Wellspring Guardians actually took the lead in the third quarter of this game before Berea turned it around and got back and rolled and picked up the big win. And then in Friday's game against Buckhorn, it was Cam Puckett with 17 points and Jack Hemingway with 15 points as well. 6-11 on the season for the Pirates, and they'll be back in action Monday versus LCA in the opening round of the 11th Region All-A tournament, which is being played at Sayre. And Model Lab School played a couple of games last week and a couple of losses, one of which we've already told you about. But on Monday, it was a 65-51 loss up in Lexington to the Christian Educational Consortium, or CEC as they call them. And then on Friday, that 76-48 loss at home to Southern. In the game against CEC, it was Keshav Bandari with 13 points and Cale Vickers with 11 points. And in the loss to Madison Southern, it was Cale Vickers with 15 points and Leighton Coleman and Dylan Crockett with 10 points each. 4 straight losses from Model, 5-8 on the season. And they're also back in action Monday in the opening round of the 11th Region All-A Classic, and they get Sayre in the first round. So moving on to girls basketball. Madison Central, coming back off the Christmas break, had just one game this week, but it was a good one. They picked up a 66-23 win on Saturday morning over Woodford County at the H&W Sports Classic in Franklin County, at a game that was played at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning. Needless to say, I wasn't there, so thank you to Hugh Davis for sending me the stats. 5th straight win for Madison Central as they go to 12-2 on the season. They shot 50% from the field against Woodford County, had 4 players in double figures. Olivia Metcalf for 13 points, Brittany Campbell 12 points, Bailey Hensley with 12 points as well, and Natea Strader with 10 points. Lady Indians back in action on Tuesday at Anderson County. Madison Southern Lady Eagles were back from Florida, and they had a couple of games this past week. They had a Tuesday afternoon game at home where they picked up a 56-49 win over Campbell County. And then on Saturday, they faced a really good Danville Christian team at the Patriot Classic over in Lincoln County and suffered a 62-57 loss. In the win over Campbell County, it was Hadley French, 19 points, Bella Mobberly and Lacey Sandlin with 8 points each. In the loss to Danville Christian, Hadley French, 29 points, 5 rebounds, Lacey Sandlin, 16 points, 6 rebounds, and Megan Carell, 7 points and 5 rebounds. 9-7 now on the season for the Lady Eagles, and they'll be back in action Tuesday at Great Crossing. And if you hang around, like I said, we got Reece Estep coming up in a minute, and she'll give you a little her kind of take on the team, because she's kind of serving as an unofficial assistant coach right now. So like I said, if you're a Lady Eagle fan, hang around for that. Couple of games last week for the Berea Community Lady Pirates as well, and with very different results. On Friday night, a 47-27 loss at Lincoln County. That was their 3rd straight loss, and Abby Beard 10 points, and Maddie King and Mandy Newman with 6 points each. But less than 24 hours later, Saturday afternoon, they were back at home on their home court and picked up a 48-36 win over Breathitt County to snap that losing streak. Sophie Brewer 13 points, Maddie King 11 points, Abby Beard with 10 points. Definitely a big win for the Lady Pirates as they head into the 11th Region All-A Classic, which gets underway Tuesday up at Sayre. Of course, remember, they are the 4-time defending champions. They would love to make it a 5th straight victory. But after their win on Saturday over Breathitt County, I had a chance to talk to Coach Damian Stepp and Maddie King.
We're here at Berea Community School, where the Lady Pirates have picked up a win over Breathitt County, snapping a 3-game losing streak. We got Coach Damian Stepp and Maddie King with us. And Maddie, you guys lost 3 straight, including a really tough one last night on the road. You guys got the All-A coming up next week. It must have been good to get back in the win column and kind of get refocused and get ready for the All-A.
Yeah, it's good to just get on a win going into the tournament. Got a lot of ups and downs to the season, but it's just good to pick this up and get back into it. So
yeah, you guys lost by.
Yeah,
you guys lost by 20 last night. You just didn't have a lot of time to think about it. You had to come back and play at 2:30 today. Was that kind of maybe a good thing to?
Yeah, today was a good rebound for us, I think. Okay. Get back on track.
All right, well, Coach, well, like I said, you 47-27 loss last night, and you had almost 27 points at halftime here tonight, so your offense played a lot better today.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people approach me. It's like, guys, you're kind of in a slump. What's going on? And you know, the truth of the matter is the 8-game streak that we came into that 3-game losing streak with was probably overachieving. You know, just with the stage where we are with this team. You know, we lost quite a bit last year. Lost, you know, from last year's team. We got a good core, but we kind of got spoiled a little bit after starting the season with losses, and then turn around winning 8 in a row. Kind of got spoiled, and I think sometimes losses help ground you a little bit, and so I think we're definitely in a good place, kind of roll into the All-A tournament. So
yeah, you kept them in the locker room here at halftime until right at the very end. Didn't give any warm ups. So I guess you had some things to say to them there, I guess.
Yeah, we're
Maddie laughing a little bit at that.
in preparation. I mean, we're adding some things, and then out on the court in the first half, saw like Pete stares and looking at each other, just trying to figure out what am I supposed to do on that, because that's new. So like I said, anytime that you've got some new things and first time out of trying to run some things, there's a little confusion. So we spent a little talk time and did a little work on the board. Felt like it come out a little better in the third quarter. So.
Yeah. Well, Maddie, you guys have won 4 straight 11th Region All-A Classic titles. What does that mean to you guys? And there's still a few holdovers from those teams. You and Sophie and Abby played on those teams. So what does it mean to you guys?
It means a lot, and I just hope we can get a 5th one this season.
All right. Is it Tuesday at Sayre or Monday?
Tuesday night at Sayre, 8 o'clock.
All right. Well, congratulations. See you then.
Thank you.
Well, 9-4 on the season now for the Lady Pirates, and they'll have a tough test on Tuesday night as they face Sayre in the opening round of the 11th Region All-A tournament up in Lexington. The Model Lab Lady Patriots came back from their Christmas break, had 3 games last week, and unfortunately weren't able to pick up a win in any of those. Tuesday, a 48-32 loss at Robertson County. On Thursday, a 47-23 loss at home to Wolfe County. And then on Saturday, a hard-fought 37-35 loss at Kentucky Country Day. In the loss to Robertson County, Paige Mattingly had 15 points. Against Wolfe County, it was Paige Mattingly with 8 points and Avery Tuttle with 6 points. And in the loss to Kentucky Country Day, it was J.D. Balzer with 12 points, 9 rebounds, and Maya Bandari with 10 points as well. Lady Patriots led for most of that game. I think it was a 6-point lead into the fourth quarter. So a hard-fought loss there, but Model Lady Patriots fall to 4-5 on the season, and sound like a broken record. But they'll return to action on Tuesday in the opening round of the 11th Region All-A tournament at Sayre, and their first-round opponent is Frankfort. So the 11th Region All-A, like I said, it's all at Sayre. Boys Monday night, girls Tuesday night, and then goes on from there depending on who wins. All right, moving on to college basketball news of the day, and Berea College women just continue to roll right along, 13-1 on the year, 5-0 against opponents from the Collegiate Conference of the South. 3 home games this week, 3 very easy wins. Tuesday, 74-33 over Agnes Scott. Friday, 78-52 over Belhaven. And Saturday, 81-59 over LaGrange. In their 5 conference wins, they are 5-0 in the league, and they have outscored their opponents 383-207. In the win over LaGrange on Saturday, it was Dalen Spalding with a career-high 17 points. Lincala James, 15 points and 11 rebounds. And Drea Satori with 15 points. Back in action for the Lady Mountaineers on Wednesday at Covenant College down in Lookout Mountain, Georgia. Berea College men had 3 games last week. They started off with a non-league matchup with Campbellsville University Harrisburg. It was the first time they played a game in over 2 weeks, but it was the Mountaineers rolling to a 100-70 win. It was Trey Menor with 33 points in that victory. The Mountaineers opened CCS play on over the weekend. On Friday, it was an 82-80 loss in double overtime to Belhaven, and on Saturday, it was an 82-75 loss to LaGrange. In the loss to LaGrange on Saturday, it was Jarrell Montgomery with 13 points, 8-7 on the season, 0-2 in the CCS, and they will also be back in action Wednesday down at Covenant College in Lookout Mountain, Georgia. EKU men's and women's basketball teams very busy weeks as they really hit their stride in ASUN play. We'll start off with the men. On Monday, an 88-83 loss at Kennesaw State. But then on Thursday, they grinded out a 77-75 win at Central Arkansas for their first ever ASUN road victory. They had been 0-10 in the ASUN, and they followed that up in a big way just a few hours ago over at McBrayer Arena, picking up a 62-59 win over a really good Liberty team, a Liberty team that came in 12-4 and 4-0 in the league. So a very big win as EKU moves to 10-7, 3-1 on the season. In the win over Liberty, it was Devontae Blanton 16 points and Cooper Robb with 15 points. Liberty missed a 3 right at the buzzer that would have sent the game to overtime, but a very good win for the Colonels, and they're back in action Thursday at home against another tough ASUN opponent, Florida Gulf Coast. EKU women, they open conference play as well this week with 3 games. On Monday, a 87-72 win at home over Kennesaw State. Thursday, an 80-69 win at home over Stetson. And they hit the road on Saturday and suffered a 71-57 loss at Central Arkansas, which snapped their 5-game winning streak. 9-7 on the season, 2-1 in the Atlantic Sun, and they'll be back in action Wednesday at home against Bellarmine. They have a weird schedule this week where Bellarmine comes here Wednesday, and then EKU goes to Bellarmine on Saturday. So play the same team in a 4-day span in 2 different locations. So that's the recap of the week that was, folks. Looking ahead, there's not a whole lot of action this week. It always seems like the week of the 11th Region All-A, all the other teams seem to take a little time off and let the schedule kind of opens up a little bit. But we do have some swimming, we do have some wrestling, we have all kinds of good stuff to tell you about. So don't go anywhere, though, because we want you to sit around or stick around and hang out and listen to our conversation we had earlier today with Reece Estep.
Stack of the week.
That's it. He's stuck.
All right, Chad Fife here. I'm filling in this week. We have IHOP, partnered with Destination Athlete. Stack of the week goes to Carson Herbst. He placed fourth place this weekend at WCI Invitational. It was his first week back on the wrestling mats. He, as an 8th grader, did a great job. That comes with 52 weeks of free pancakes and an IHOP gift certificate. Congratulations, Carson.
Stack of the week. Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by MetroNet, super fast internet, simply a better connection. Total Comfort, heating and air conditioning. Let Total Comfort keep you cool or warm this winter. Call for service or for a free replacement quote. Wynn's Auto Detailing Service. And by kymedia.net, digital media solutions on your terms.
All right, welcome back. We are joined by Madison Southern senior Reece Estep. And Reece, you've got to be the only person I've ever known that's had 3 major knee surgeries.
Yeah, I'm the only person I've ever heard of, too. Yeah.
So you're definitely in elite company there, especially for high school athletes. So welcome back, though.
Thank you. Yes, I'm glad to be back. Unfortunately, same story, but...
Yeah. Well, back in December when the team was playing up at the thing in Georgetown, the tournament up there, after the championship game, I was standing out in the hallway, and your mother came up to me. And your mother, me and her just kind of got to chatting, and she said something that really stuck with me. She said, everybody keeps talking about her, but I wish people would talk to her about it. And that's why I wanted to have you here, to kind of go through, these past 4 years, the emotions, just up and down. Can you even kind of encapsulate it all? It's not over yet. Obviously,
it's
still got another year of high school. But.
Definitely not over. I do enjoy cheering on my team. Of course, it's extremely hard. To have to. It's always hard going through this again.
Yeah.
But it's hard to explain it in just a couple words because you really have to be there and going through physical therapy and watching our team on the bench and at practice. Wanting to be out there, it hurts the most. But it's just something I have to go through, and obviously I've done this multiple times, so I've found my way of being there for my team and handling it the best I can, and it's really motivation each time to come back better than I was before.
Yeah, we see you on the bench. You still have that big smile on your face, but I'm sure it's. Obviously, it's got to be tough. And,
yeah.
You came back for 1 extra year to play 1 extra year,
yes.
And this happens to you again.
Yes, well, this time I'm now referred to as Coach Estep.
Okay.
So,
I see you over there with the clipboard and everything.
Yes. But, yeah, I feel like I came back. I wanted to come back and, leave my mark on, high school basketball. But, that's just not my story. I'll carry it on in college ball, and that's what I plan to do. So.
Yeah, you do have your signing coming up in a couple of weeks with the University of Campbellsville, and they never peeled off of you at all. They wanted you through all this. That's awesome.
Yes, I was a little of course anybody would be a little scared of that, being committed to somewhere and something major like this happening, but they've stayed with me through it all. She called me the day I had surgery. Was a little I mean, I was on a little bit of medicine, it's a little fun
loopy.
conversation, but from what I remember, she was very encouraging and, just there for me always, and I got to go watch them play Thomas More the other day, and it was just a great game, and watching their program looks like something I'm so excited to join and, be a part of. So.
Yeah, and for folks who don't know you, let's kind of walk through the timeline. The left knee was a freshman year?
Freshman year, yes, right before districts, and then my right knee the first time was about 6 games in last year. So, and then I had surgery on January, and then this year I actually had I didn't tear it necessarily. I had a graft rupture, and they tell you before surgery there's always a percentage of that happening,
Mm-hmm.
But and that's really what happened to me. It never took to it, it never healed properly, and they actually told me I was the Dr. Johnson's first patient since 2004 to have a graft rupture. So it was just really a freak accident that happened.
Yeah.
Guy landed perfectly, just blew it again.
Yeah.
So.
And was that practice or something, or workout?
Yeah,
Or what
it was. I was going up for rebounding practice. We were running drill, rebounded. I was obviously confident in my body at the time. I landed just directly on my right leg, and it just landed perfectly, and just I could feel it pop from underneath me. It was just. But they all told me. I went to the trainer. She's like, "You're fine. You're fine." I was like, "Okay, I'm fine. I'm fine."
Yeah.
And so I came back, and then it kind of bothered me a little bit, and went to the doctor to check it out, and unfortunately, I had torn it again.
Yeah, because we had media day down there, and you were there, and we took pictures, and
It was
everything was awesome.
It was 2 days before. I was like, "Oh my goodness."
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's a lot of bad luck, I guess. But
yeah, unfortunate, but God's
Yeah.
play.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it was funny because the other day when I was going back and adding up all those stats to do the current scoring leaders, and that's when it kind of dawned on me that you really have only had really 2 full seasons.
Yes, I've had.
You only have 400 and something career points. I thought I added that up, and I'm like, that can't be right. And I'm like, well, but she lost her whole freshman year and her whole first senior year, and so you.
I really haven't had much time, but at least I've made a little bit of a mark,
Yeah.
But I feel like it just shows that, what I can do in college. If I can do that in my little time in high school, I feel like that just excites me to play in college ball and to come back and be better. So.
Yeah, we joke about being Coach Estep, but what do they have you doing over there on the bench? Are you tracking stuff, or kind of what are your duties over there?
Oh, I'm helping Coach Lee with the stats. They need subs. I talk to Coach about stuff. They allow me. They really do talk to me like I'm, not at their level, of coaching, but they include me on those things, and it makes me feel more a part of it. And I talk to the players. They come out and you did a good job. Help them out with what I hear the coaches saying. Just smaller part of a coach and about a player as well. So it's both sides. I'm in the middle, and I can connect with both.
Okay. And do you kind of in practice and stuff? You kind of work with those girls, especially your sister. Do you?
Yes.
You kind of pass along your sage advice to them.
For as much as she'll listen to me, I'll help her out. I try. I really do talk to the older girls a lot. Just and our freshmen, we have really skilled freshmen. And just from my experience and my knowledge, I try to help them out with that and how to handle playing varsity high school basketball. I know it's a lot of pressure for them, but they're wonderful players and they can handle it all well. But in practice, I really just try to help out in any ways I can.
Okay. Well, I've never gone through something like this. I know you ever have, Randy?
No,
so tell us, especially when the first one, kind of what is the rehab process? What is, from the surgery, kind of just give us a thumbnail sketch of kind of what the rehab is like.
Well, rehab takes they tell you about 9 to 12 months. My first time, they really held me to about the 11 to 12 month mark. You go into PT almost 2 days after surgery, so they kind of just start you off getting into it. The first 2 months, I think, are about just mobility and getting things back to moving, but after that it's just full on strength. And as basketball players, you in the physical therapist place, you train for basketball. They'll have me doing basketball drills, rebounding, just things to get your body ready to be back to play basketball. So that's kind of mostly strength work and just getting that trust back and confidence back in your body, really.
Yeah, and that's what I hear. I hear that all the time from people. It's mental. The first time you get back out there, the first time you jump, the first time, it's always in the back of your head. I don't know, is this going to happen again? And so that's obviously a huge part of it.
Yeah, that's where you realize to trust your therapist, your coaches, and yourself. Trusting yourself, and I'd say allowing yourself, because at first, whenever I came back, I'd need like my trainer to tell me, you can do this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I would actually allow my body to do it. Before, I would be like hesitant, like, am I allowed to? Can I do this? But once I got that reassurance, I feel like that really helped me. And I was like, okay, I can do this. I'm fine. And then like go. So.
That happens on the other one though. So
Yes. Yes. So that obviously like messes with you a little bit. It's like, oh crap, that happened again. But you know, I mean, I feel like that's kind of what scares me a little bit. Like when I came back from my left one, I wasn't really like gaining that confidence back wasn't really a problem for me. Like I just went back and I wasn't really afraid of anything. Happened again, kind of made me a little more cautious. But you know, I still played the way I play, and which is not necessarily the safest way for your body, you know. Like I don't play basketball in a way that's like cautious, like, you know, afraid of being hurt all the time, and I don't think that's how anybody can play. But doing that and it happened again is just something. It just happened. I got to work through it, and I'll come back and be the same, and if not better player than I was before. So.
Yeah, we were joking before we went on the air here. You can open up a medical supply store. You've got all kinds of braces and crutches.
Listen, I am prepared for anything that is coming. Yes.
So if anybody needs something, just call Reece.
I got you. Yes, I have a stock of things.
She has great rates.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cheap. We'll have you have a yard
Exactly.
sale
Yes.
once you go off to college. Well, speaking more about Campbellsville, I mean, who else was interested in you, and kind of what was it about Campbellsville that you liked the best?
Well, of course, like having this happen, I didn't have a whole lot of people looking at me, or like, well, stay looking at me. You know, they hear that happen, they kind of pull back a little bit. But I had Campbellsville talking to me since my sophomore year, and you know, they've really stayed with me through it all, and that's like one of the main colleges that has stayed with me. I've talked to a couple other schools, I visited a couple other places, but really, Campbellsville was always my main focus. That's the one place I visited constantly and worked out with their team, and you know, as soon as they gave me that offer, I took it. Like that has always been my focus. So.
We're gonna have a signing soon. Do we have a date yet? Or?
Well, we did have a date,
Okay.
but it was the day we don't have school, evidently.
Okay.
So we've had to change that. We were talking with Coach Colvin actually to rearrange it, but it will be sometime this month. So.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm always interested too with the fifth year thing with the COVID year. Kind of what is your daily schedule like? I know they have to. I mean, obviously you're not taking a normal class load, so kind of what do you do? What does your schedule look like?
Well, in school, I'm not really doing much. I will say that. You know, my first 2 periods, I'm co-oping, so, you know, and then my third period, I help in the office. I'm a peer mediator, so it's not really like subject classes I'm taking. And then my fourth period, I'm in yearbook. Fifth period, I TA for Curtis, and then sixth period, I have weights. So I've taken all my dual credit classes. They've almost cut me off on those. So that's why my schedule looks like this now. I did have a couple online classes, but I've kind of filled up all my marks staying here fifth year. You know, you kind of fill it up pretty quickly. But, yeah, I'm ready to graduate. I have most of my credits. So right now it's just pretty easy until then.
Yeah. So. And what do you want to study at Campbellsville?
I would love to go into physical therapy. I just feel like that's a place that I really connect with. So I'd like to study sports medicine and like health sciences and things like that. And I heard they have a great program. I've actually talked to a couple other players that are going in the same thing as well. So I'm really excited for that. But yeah, that's a little. Everyone's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. We understand that, of course. So
yeah. Well, going through all this, you want to give a shout out to some people who've kind of been there through it, been trainers or anybody, kind of the orthopedic people, or kind of who's been kind of helped you through all this.
I'd have a list.
Well, go ahead. If you can remember them all.
Our former trainer, TJ
was
TJ.
Awesome.
Our current trainer, Kelly, she's working with me every single day. Heather, I love her so much. I love her facility up there. You know, I worked with her for the first 2 years. Of course, my mom and my dad, they like my support right there. Mm-hmm. All my coaches, my past ones, like Coach Simmons, Mr. Simmons, our AD, he's always been there for me. Even our like football coaches, like coaches around the school really helped me out. Coach Clark, Coach Chapman, I worked with him a lot too. Really teachers like Mr. Ray, Mr. Watkins, they've always like been there supporting me, checking on me, you know, and I could go on. I could actually go on forever. Like Coach Colvin, like being there for me, supporting me, just everybody. I mean, my family, my team, you know, just everybody's always been for me and helping me and supporting me. Because I mean, this is a hard journey to go through. So.
Yeah. All right, well, Coach Estep, we're here.
Oh, yeah.
We're here in the second week of January. Kind of give us your analysis of the Lady Eagles right now. They've had a little ups and downs. They've played well at times, and had a loss yesterday, but one earlier in the week. So kind of at this point of the season, kind of what do you think?
I mean, we did have a loss yesterday, but I will say that was one of the best games I've saw us play. Like just energy-wise, spirit-wise, defensively, we were everywhere, and I feel like that's really how we need to be playing. And like maybe we haven't played that way past couple games, but I feel like last night really unlocked that for us, and I feel like that's how we're going to continue to play. And our players realized that as well. Like they were like, oh, we can do this. We can do this every single game. Like this is what we need to be doing, and having that energy, and like just that's what's going to win us games, and being together. And defense wins games. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they realized how much that helped last night, even though we did take a loss, But we played extremely well, and I was so proud of them last night. So.
Did you get to go to Florida?
Yes, I got to go to Florida.
Hobbled around with your brace on.
Yes, I scooted around everywhere. I made it with the teams. We only played 3 games down there. The first game I did miss out on. I was a little sick that day, but that's besides the point. The second games that I did get to watch, we really we jumped on the second team we played. That was a great game also energy-wise. Like I feel like the games that we play good and great games that we jump on teams is whenever we have good defense and good energy. So that game was really great. The last day, we did take a loss that game, but that team that we played was really good, and we just kind of died off a little bit in the second half of the quarter. But I don't know what else to say. But I think we were all that trip was very good for us. We all got together, and team chemistry was definitely there. We were always doing things together, and I think that's great for any team to be there and just have bonding time. It was really fun.
Hey, you had a day off? You went to Universal? Is that where you guys went?
Yes. I skipped out on that part, but I heard they all had a great time there. It was maybe a little too much walking for me right now, but they always enjoyed that, and I saw a lot of pictures, Luckily, no one did nothing too crazy over there, but they had a good time. So.
All right. Well, it's always, I hate to see you over there sitting on the bench, but like I said, you always got that big smile on your face. And everything you've been through, you're still so positive and so upbeat, and it's really awesome to see. So at McBray, are we going to see you with some funky glasses on again this
maybe.
year?
I got to find me a new pair, I think.
I was gonna go look and try to find something on the way over here, but I got running late, as I usually do.
Hush for right now. I haven't decided yet. We'll see what I whip out there. So.
Yeah, that was kind of your signature last year. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. It just made it an exciting time and really fun to have everyone there. And you saw student sections have glasses, and it was just a fun time. So.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming in, and like I said, I'm glad we got a chance to talk to you and kind of hear people hear your story and hear it in your own words. So
thank you
so much for coming in. So that'll wrap up this week's edition of the Richmond Register Sports Show. As always, we have our nightly show Monday through Friday, which you can watch live on Facebook, and we'll be back next Sunday with a brand new show. Before that, as always, Richmond R Sports on Twitter is the best place to keep up with Madison County sports, along with Register Sports on Facebook. So see you next week.
Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by MetroNet, super fast internet, simply a better connection. Total Comfort, heating and air conditioning. Let Total Comfort keep you cool or warm this winter. Call for service or for a free replacement quote. Wynn's Auto Detailing Service. And by kymedia.net, digital media solutions on your terms. Thanks for watching the Richmond Register Sports Show. For more information about all things sports in Madison County, log on to richmondregister.com or on Twitter. And like us, Register Sports on Facebook. Get the Richmond Register directly to your mailbox or get the app online and visit richmondregister.com.